When President Uhuru Kenyatta and his deputy William Samoei Ruto announced their first cabinet in 2013 from State House, they communicated a lot of things to Kenyans. And for the first time, because the constitution was changed in 2010, for the first time, the cabinet secretaries were going to come out of parliament. So for the first time, we are going to have parliament without ministers and cabinet secretaries who were not members of parliament. And Kenyans believed that this dynamic duo were going to do things differently. But on that particular day, these gentlemen communicated something which was very strong to the Republic. They came out wearing, all of them, white shirts. And all of them were in red tie. For those who might not know, red tie is always referred to as power tie. It actually symbolizes strength, authority, and dominance. You remember, we had had a very bitterly contested election. So these guys were coming out in red tie, showing power, showing strength, showing authority, and showing dominance over their opponents. And from that moment, these guys were referred to as the dynamic duo. And to remember that particular day, these two gentlemen took photos. And those photos actually trended online. And to cement their relationship, one of the photo where the president was reading the list of the cabinet secretaries and his deputy was right behind him, was then painted on the walls of State House. So that's how serious these guys took that particular first day. So that first day they were making this announcement, in my view, was one of the most memorable days for the dynamic duo. And I've learned that this photo has been erased from the walls of State House. And what message is President Uhuru Kenyatta sending out by erasing this particular picture from State House? We all remember that in 2013, these guys were very close. And we all remember that after the handshake, these guys are no longer close the way they were. But why would President Uhuru Kenyatta, or why would the State House delete or erase that particular photo, which had a lot of memory for both the president and his deputy? Why would they do that? We also know that it's not the first time this is happening. The photos of the deputy president had actually been deleted, and several of them had actually been deleted from official State House Facebook page and Twitter handles. So what message are they sending? Today I want us to look at the message President Uhuru Kenyatta is sending out to Kenyans and to his deputy in particular by deleting that particular post. But before we do that, let me just read for you. I like going to Dennis Itumbi's wall because I believe he communicates on behalf of the deputy president. So let me just take you to Dennis Itumbi's wall. Let me just take you there. There's something I saw there. Dennis Itumbi made this post today. He's saying, kill Jubilee, then form another party. So number one, the first step, PNU raising funds. PNU fundraising raises 66 million at Lamada Hotel. So another 66 million was raised last week for the purposes of campaigns, for purposes of PNU. You remember the PNU party? CS Munya, Peter Munya is actually the party leader. CS Munya tells meeting that President Uhuru sent him with 5 million. Okay? Number three, it will be saying, The participant pay a bar, boardroom, and restaurant bill of 1.8 million. So those who attended that meeting, they cleared a bill of around 1.8 million. So on Tuesday last week, PNU files a request at registrar of political parties, an intention to change name to the National Unity Party. Remember, Uhuru's party was the National TNA, the National Alliance. So here we are talking of the National Unity Party. So the idea, it will be saying, fight in Jubilee, reduce it to shell, then bolt out to a new party. In other words, the launch strategy for TNU is a fight in Jubilee first. I'm giving you that background so that we can understand that Uhuru Kenyatta has decided that probably is going to leave Jubilee Party. Or if he's going to retain Jubilee Party, but he's not going to work with his deputy. But what message was President Uhuru Kenyatta sending by erasing the memory of his deputy, a picture he had with his deputy? If that photo could be deleted from State House, what do you think happened in case that photo was hanged somewhere in President Uhuru Kenyatta's wall? Do you think that photo is still there? Let's say in his official private residence now. Do you think that photo is still hanging in Uhuru's house? I don't think so. So what message was President Uhuru Kenyatta sending? The first message, in my view, is that Uhuru Kenyatta has decided to erase the memory of the alliance he had with President Uhuru Kenyatta, with the deputy president. Otherwise, there was no need for him to erase that picture. That picture has been there from 2013 up to now. So probably every time Uhuru Kenyatta drives to State House, and because that thing was on the wall inside there, it always reminded him about their past. And Uhuru Kenyatta has decided he doesn't want anything to do with that past. So he asked these people, guys, I want you to delete this photo. I don't know how the DP is going to deal with this. But if I were to advise the DP, I'd advise him to start planning his 2022 presidential journey without Uhuru Kenyatta in mind. Uhuru Kenyatta has a different idea. Up to now, I still keep on asking myself, what really transpired between these two gentlemen, to an extent that the DP, that the DP's image can actually be erased completely from State House. We remember at the Bomas of Kenya, when Raila Odinga and President Uhuru Kenyatta were meeting in some room, the DP was locked from accessing that room. That image is still very fresh on our minds. So it's clear that the president has decided that he's going to pursue a different path, but he doesn't want anything that can remind him of the memory of the first time they unveiled that cabinet. It could be deep. The differences between these two guys could be very deep. Number two, I think that move also signifies the end of the marriage between Uhuru and Ruto. Of course, the deputy president said that he didn't marry Uhuru, akotona bibi moja. But that's on a light note. But the fact is, these guys were in an alliance. They were working together. So Uhuru is now sending a message to this guy that this thing has not worked. We can no longer work together. So what do? Let's end it. And I want to send a message to you by erasing first this photo. Because I'm sure, for those who follow Uhuru and Ruto, the way they were in 2013, by the time they were making the decision to paint that photo on the walls of State House, I am sure they must have agreed and they had their own reasons. So this one marks the end. I don't want to talk of Jubilee. Jubilee is a political party, but it marks the end of Uhuru and Ruto alliance. These guys were famously referred to as Uhuruto. So that move actually marked the end. Number 3, something also tells me that Uhuru Kenyatta is intending to make certain cabinet changes. And for those who follow this channel, yesterday I alluded in one of my videos and I said I was not going to do anything about that video until I get further detail, until it's confirmed. I alluded to one of my videos that President Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Odinga, together with Gideon Moi, met for a very long time at the house of Paul Otoma in Karen. I'm now talking about this because it's now public. It has been published in the Daily Nation. And later on, these guys were joined by James Orengo, and they were also joined by Ndugu Francis Atwoli. Atwoli is not your ordinary Kenyan. That's the third in command in this country. Orengo was probably there for the purposes of if there is any signature or if there's any legal advice. But I'm not going to go into that particular meeting. I'm going to deal with that meeting after this video. But the fact is, there's a looming reshuffle. And Uhuru has erased that memory so that he cannot have the free mind or the freedom to choose ODM people, KANU people to the cabinet. Sijui kama tunaelewana up to that point. By breaking the tradition, because these guys were in an alliance and it was TNA, URP. Now they've agreed. We are going to do one thing. We want to form another government. But whenever he drives to State House, there's that big photo of him and the DP making their first cabinet. So it reminds him about URP and TNA, and again it reminds him about the PNU, about the Jubilee Alliance. So he has erased that. Now Uhuru is free, has the freedom to appoint whoever he wants from any other political party. I suspect a new cabinet is likely to be made, and if it's made, who are going to be there? That's something as a political pundits will be following very closely to see the people who are going to be kicked out and the people who are going to be retained. The Daily Nation has actually mentioned around, I've said that there are around 4 people who are going to be reshuffled. I still don't know. Because since Uhuru Kenyatta took over, he has made 18 changes to his cabinet. That's something you need to know. Number 4, I think Uhuru might be very bitter with his deputy about what I can call insubordination. Uhuru Kenyatta is the president of the Republic of Kenya. Uhuru Kenyatta is the party leader of Jubilee Party. If you look at what has been happening, the DP has been dismissing every other thing Uhuru is doing, though not publicly. You go to Jubilee Party, I'm saying that the DP has been dismissing whatever Uhuru is doing. If Uhuru fired Mwangi Kunjuri, the DP has given him a hope. The president fired Rashid Echesa. He found a home in the DP's office. The president fired Itumbi. They found home in the DP's office. That is pure insubordination, if the DP didn't know that. Now you come to this other side of the party. That's government. Now you come to this side of the party. Rafael Tuju, who is the Secretary General of the party, writes a letter. Then the deputy, who is allied to the DP, also writes another letter. These guys know so well. The deputy party leader of Jubilee knows so well that he doesn't have any power. The deputy secretary general of Jubilee Party knows so well that his signature doesn't count anywhere. But they still continue writing these letters, issuing ultimatums here, there, and everywhere. What does that tell you? The president is bitter with the insubordination. So he doesn't want to see anything about this guy. And he's telling him that, you look here, you have been my assistant and you are insubordinating me. So I don't want you. So he has erased that. And lastly, this also, in my view, marks the beginning of a new alliance. By erasing that memory, the president is doing away with the DP. But we also know that, politically speaking, President Uhuru Kenyatta cannot operate alone in Jubilee Party. If he tries that, the DP and his allies will overrun him. So he needs an alliance. So by erasing DP, it means Uhuru must bring on someone. And this can explain why that meeting took place. We are going to get details about that meeting, and it's going to be late on this channel. So he's telling them, it marked the end. So I'm bringing new people. Naleta Raila, naleta Gideon, naleta watu wengine, and we are going to work. Whether we are going to succeed or not, I don't want to care. So in my view, that move by President Uhuru Kenyatta is basically a message to the DP. Maybe it's even a message that alliance actually failed. Because let's face it, that first cabinet, which was announced by the president, had very serious people. It had people who are never involved in politics before, except for a few. Majority of them were people who are coming from the corporate world. You talk of Amina Mohamed, you talk of Adenham, you talk of Biti Wahungu, of Judy Wahungu. There were so many people, apart from 3 who were appointed later. I don't know what you think, but in my view, those are the 5 messages which President Uhuru Kenyatta is sending to his deputy. And if you're bumping on this video for the first time, just like I keep on saying, just take a second or 2 and hit the subscribe button so that next time we produce a video like this one, you get notified. And to the subscribers, I want to continue. Thank you guys for your continued support. Because without that support, this channel will not be where it is today. Thank you guys, and please, may you have a good day. And just the request I keep on making here, help me create interactions. How do you do that? You help me create interactions by giving the video a thumbs up. I know most of you guys always do that religiously, but don't tire. Just give it thumbs up or thumbs down if you don't like the video. And also, the best one is just to drop your comment. Meanwhile, continue checking our vuguvugu.com. Continue checking it out. Yeah, continue checking it. Every time you get a chance, just log into www.vuguvugu.com so that we can see how that website is going to be grown. I have a group of people who had actually volunteered to write on it from this channel, or from this platform. I've not granted them the rights, but once we are ready, we are going to do that. Thank you guys, and please, may you have a good day.